Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. We have our Kawasaki jet ski, our 650SX and X2 CDI, and the spark plug wires are gone. So how do we go from this to this? Stay tuned, I'll show you how. Today we're going to take our 650 Kawasaki and our 650 X2 jet ski CDI igniter, and you notice our spark plug wires are gone. Our spark plug wires are bad, they've been removed. We're going to put new wires on. This is our TS 650 CDI igniter and wires. We want to put them in the stand-up, and the wiring's too short. So what'll end up happening is these wires burn back through here, and we'll cut them shorter and shorter, or the wires will burn up in here. And when that happens, the CDI itself is still good, but the wires are no good. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the wires out. We'll show you guys how to change the wires out today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our die grinder here, and we're going to grind back through here until we find the wire goes all the way down to here. Okay, we're going to dig this out, and we're going to find where the wire comes in at, and then we're going to slowly trace it back to the spikes that stick up in here and feed the circuitry to the wire. All right. All right, that'll be close enough for now. Okay, now what we're going to do is we'll put this in the vise here, and sometimes they'll let us pull it right out. And of course it didn't work, but that's all right. That halfway worked. All right, so now our wires are out. So we'll work on this one because that's going to be easier to do because it started to come out. So that's the remnants of the spark plug wires, guys. So we'll keep grinding on that, but it's almost there. Okay. Okay, so this drill bit here, guys, it's a core style drill bit. I bought this on Amazon. What this does is this lets me go down and find the pin. Okay, there's the bottom of our wire. You can see where it's been glued down there. And see, there's the spike I was talking about. So the wire will drop in there and press onto that spike, and that's all cleaned off, and that'll give us a good area to glue our wire down to. So I'm going to do this other one here. It's going to take just the same amount of time, but I don't want to waste you guys' time, so I'll be back. Alrighty guys, we got the bottom of the other spark plug wire there. And you can see our needles are both protruding a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll take and clean this out really well, and we'll put new wires down here. But I do want you guys to be aware, this is a 91 and newer CDI. The early X2s and some of the 650s stand-ups, this pin was way up here. So they're going to be staggered. Just be aware, because you don't want to go digging all the way down there looking for this needle, because you'll end up grinding through the coil on the older models. So on this one, on the newer 91 and newer, I think they were all parallel. So anyway, we'll get some wire together here and we'll clean up our mess, and then we'll be back. So I've got some 7mm solid core wire here, and I bought this used off eBay, or a new old stock I should say. Sit on somebody's shelf since the 70s. My standard has always been 30 inches. Okay, so 30 inches. Make sure you cut it square, and that's enough to do. That's enough to do any 650 or other big sit down that has a far reach for coils. Then what we'll do is we'll mix this up some. I've got some JB Weld here. I usually use DevCon, but this is what I have in stock. So, and I don't cut the wire until I install it in the 650, just because I prefer to wait. You have to really push these in there really aggressively. All right. Okay, now those are in. All right. Now we'll mix up some JB Weld here, and what the JB Weld does is it seals it, glues it, and waterproofs it all at the same time. Stuff is a little old, actually, looks like. Okay. All right, we'll let that dry. Then we'll install it in a ski and test it. Alrighty guys, while we're waiting for the epoxy to dry, I want to give a special shout out to Maggie887, YouTube user. They had a very valid point, and I was kind of chuckling at myself when I was reading their comment. They made a comment about, would it have helped if I'd have leaned out the carburetor? And it clicked, absolutely it would, because our top end was worn out. It's not pulling on the carburetor hard enough. So we richened up the ski to chase that low pull on the carburetor. So putting the new top end on, or the newer top end on, it's going to pull harder on the carburetor, and it's going to richen it up. So before we go out on our next ride, we will end up leaning out the carburetor. So thank you, Maggie887, for pointing that out. And also, I want to do another shout out to is it Atomatic Army, or ATI-matic Army? They made a comment about this wonderful, beautiful Chinese check valve here that I've been using for quite a many years, about how those cause problems. And while they are pretty and we do like using them, I'm a big advocate of OEM as much as possible. And seeing as I've parted out a lot of 15Fs as of late, I got an OEM check valve here. We're going to replace that. I may need to set you guys down. So like I said, a special thanks to those guys. So this is for you. So now we're not inducing any problems into our system. There you go. That's way better. So between this, and we're going to richen up a little bit, and then we're going to change out our CDI here when we get it done here, and then we'll go to the lake. And oh, another thing I want to do is, I got this off of the TS. This is our lanyard. This is a stop switch with a lanyard on it. It's a direct bolt-on to the stand-up start-stop switch. So we're going to change that out as well, because I'm a very big advocate of safety. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll do the exhaust manifold. I'll show you guys the exhaust manifold when we get to it, but it's different, and it's supposed to make a difference on power. Alrighty guys, don't know what happened, don't really have an explanation or a good excuse, but evidently 30 inches is not our number. So, well, obviously, as you can see, we're short here by probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 inches. So I don't know what happened, but 30 inches is not our number. So I'm pretty sure it must have been 36 inches. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cut this wire long over here so I'm going to cut this wire long here so it comes over here and reaches the front cylinder, because that's our longer wire. And then we'll get a measurement from here back, and we'll redo this one here. And I'm not going to record that because you guys have already seen the process. So we'll be back. So we put a second wire on. We're going to cut them to size, crimp on the connectors. I get asked this a lot. I know you guys see in the comments, people are always wondering where I get my cable ends, my spark plug ends. Because I don't like the NGKs because they have resistors in them, which induces resistance in the ignition system, and we don't like that. So here's the crimp on ends, or the Taylor cable 44409 maybe? Yeah, 44409. And these are the crimp on ends. Okay. So that's our crimp on end there. And then the boot that I use is also a Taylor cable, and they happen to be blue, which is fine by me. A lot of people don't like it, but it's a 44796 Taylor cable part number. And you find them on Amazon, you find them through Summit Racing, you find them through all the good online stores have them. But then what we'll do is we'll take and look at our lengths here, and we're going to bring this one over to here. And you always want to leave, let's see here, hope you guys can see this. You always want to leave about half an inch or an inch longer, because we're going to fold over. We're going to fold over the solid, this is 7mm solid copper wire, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to cut this back, expose some of the copper core. More than that. Okay. So what we do is we expose about 3/4 of an inch of the solid copper wire, and we're going to fold it over the top. We're going to fold it back over on itself, so that when we put this spark plug top on, it captures this wire. And what that does, that ensures a really good contact point for the spark plug wire. That way it won't, if it starts to corrode or something happens, because it is in a high water environment, it gives it plenty of surface area. This should last for years. Then we take our crimpers and crimp them on. Okay. Now our end, it's a mechanical crimp there. It's a very solid connection. Then I like to use our Dawn dish soap here. We use Dawn for everything around here, because when it evaporates, it almost acts like super glue, and actually works really well. So take some dish soap here. And that's it. We have our, drain the excess soap. There you go. That's our first connection there. And we'll do the same thing with the other one. Cut it an inch long. Okay. Get another connector. cut our 3/4 of an inch off to fold it over on itself. Okay. And I like to figure out where this lies here, where it rests in a resting position, because you don't want to kink or rotate the cables. You want them to be resting when they're in a resting spot. So we fold that over on itself, put the cap on here. Okay, and then crimp. All right. Double check our mechanical crimp, make sure she's tight. She's tight. Do our dish soap trick. We're blowing bubbles, looks like. All right. Now, what I'm doing here is I rotate this 360 degrees. That makes sure the soap is on the entire connector, and it makes it much easier to slide. Yep, got soap everywhere. There's our connections. Now we just need to test fire it. I think when we go to the lake today, we're going to take a manifold with us. We've discussed this in previous videos. This has the original 86X2 manifold on it, which does not have a bridge between the front and rear cylinder. And over the years, everybody's just assumed everybody talks about the difference it makes, but I've personally never witnessed it. I'd like to test that today as well. So we'll bring one of those with us to the water, but for now, let's see if we'll get it to fire up. And in order to do that, we're going to move outside. Alrighty. So we've got our 91 TS650 ignition put on here. We've got our new wires on. We got it all wired up. We're going to choke it, fire it up, let it run for a couple seconds, and then see where the rev limiter comes in, because I'm not really sure. It should be, as long as it's over 6750, we should be good to test. So we got our tachometer here, which hopefully it'll reach up to you guys. Yep, we're good. All right. Guess we ought to check for spark first. Okay, never assume, right? Rule number 1. I can't see nothing here. Okay, so it looks like we have spark. So we obviously have a fuel issue. Try this again. Come on, guys. All right, let's try this again. It's just a little more erratic than I like. Okay, we're gonna have to test this under load at the lake, guys, because this is just too erratic. So, off to the lake. Alrighty guys, we're down here at Body Beach. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's Saturday. And the mayhem has calmed down a little bit. There's probably half as many people out here that were out here a couple hours ago. We got this cool group here from Southern California. They show up with a 550, a 650, and a 750. So of course we had to say hi. What's your names, guys?
I'm Austin.
Hi, Austin.
Cole.
Cole.
Kenneth.
And Kenneth. And the ladies. Hi, ladies. And then that's the rest of their group up there. How long you guys been down here?
Since Thursday, or no, Friday.
Nice. You guys were out here yesterday getting a ride? That's cool.
Yeah. We were testing out the skis, getting them all nice and tuned up for today.
Making sure they work.
The main day, yeah. The big day for when everyone else got here.
We call that test and tune Friday.
Yeah.
So all your stuff's running good, looks like. That's cool.
Yeah. So far so good.
That's awesome. You guys down here from what, Southern California, SoCal?
Yeah. Los Angeles area.
Right on. Escape the crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Definitely relaxing. Just get away from all the city vibes, I guess.
Oh yeah. I think this is the busiest Memorial Day I've seen in a couple years. So there's a lot of people down here this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. All right, we're gonna go test the 650 and see if we can keep it running. Alrighty guys, so we're doing the pre-flight inspection down here on the 650. Oh, sorry. All right. Alrighty. So we're doing a pre-flight on the 650 here, the pre-flight inspection. And something happened to our nose piece here. It stripped the screws that come out of the deal here, and it's fallen off. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it off, and obviously all this is loose. So we don't want water getting in there, but we'll try to keep the bow out of the water so water doesn't fill up the engine compartment, but we can still test. So we'll save that for later, put that on a different later date. I don't even know if you guys can see or not. Yep, good enough, I guess. Alright, well, it runs good. So I wasn't able to get a good RPM reading for some reason. So either the tach's going bad or something else is wrong. But until then, stay tuned here. Alrighty guys, that wraps up another great video. As you saw, we were down at Body Beach. We met a lot of cool people. A lot of people hanging out for the Memorial Day weekend. I wasn't able to get a chance to put the exhaust manifold on, but we were able to get some numbers. As you guys saw, I went through the footage and I saw when we were free revving it out here, we did see 7,000 RPM. If this thing will let us spin 7,000 RPM, the TS ignition upgrade is a beneficial upgrade. So it's a very good thing to put on an ad. that's why I say the only ones available right now from Kawasaki are the TS. So you could buy a factory CDI, and if the wires aren't long enough for the stand-up, you can see it's very easy to modify them to do that. So it does work. It's a good setup. And what we'll do is tomorrow's Sunday, Monday's Memorial Day. That's Locals Day at the lake at Body Beach. So I'll probably go down there and try to do the exhaust manifold then, and hopefully you guys will see that for next week's video. But until then, thanks for watching, and have a safe Memorial Day.